Okay, well, as people start jumping in, I want to make sure we are mindful of everyone's time. Happy Monday. It's back to Lifebook today. And today we are really diving in to some good stuff because, well, if element one doesn't lay the foundation for us, I don't know what will. So I'm excited to hear everyone's takeaways. This is I always tell people this is like a safe spot, right? So sometimes whys can get really deep and personal, and just know whatever you guys share, whatever you share in here stays in here. Well, and Optimal Health Journey, our community page, of course. But this is a safe spot. We're all family. We're all on a mission to do the same thing, which is get healthy and stay healthy. So I'm hoping some of you, if not all of you, will be comfortable to share what you took away from this element and what your whys were. So who wants to kick us off tonight? Not everyone jump at once. Anyone?
I'll go. So I wrote this back in April and it still kind of stands true today.
You're muted, Jessica.
Oh, crap.
Somehow you muted. You're back.
Hello. I was just saying that my why was that I wrote it back in April, but I want to, it's still positive for me today. It still rings true. But I want to be able to look in the mirror and smile, feel sexy, feel that I'm attractive. I want to feel beautiful, not just being told that I'm beautiful. I actually want to feel it and see it for myself. I want to have more energy. I want to be able to play with my kids and have them be proud of their mom. I want to be a good role model for my family and for my girls. I want to say I actually finished something that I've started. When it comes to dieting, I've yo-yoed back and forth all over the place. And I want my doctor to actually look at me and go, good job. You're healthy. Let's keep it up. And I want to be able to travel and adventure and have the stamina and energy to do so. So those are my whys. Kind of long, but.
Those are some really powerful whys. I'm curious, Jessica, now that you've done this for a handful of months, did you add to that list, or is that the same list now that you can reflect on and say, yep, I nailed my why the first go round?
This is my original list. And honestly, I have become more active in my kids, and I actually walk them to school. I ran around this huge park that we have here in town with them on Saturday, and they were like, wow, I can't catch you, mom. So that felt kind of good that, mom and dad were actually outrunning the kids instead of them tackling us right away. I do feel pretty again. I haven't felt that in 25 years. So took me going to an event to actually realize that I am beautiful. Sorry. So it's been a long journey and I'm not done yet. So I'm getting there.
Oh, someone has to talk. Now Jessica has to be crying. That's when you know your why is powerful. We always say when your why can make you cry, then you've hit the nail on the head and you're doing something right. Thank you for sharing. Who else?
I'll read what I wrote in July.
Please.
I wrote to be a good example and have energy. I want to believe in myself. I want to be able to go on hikes and not get winded. I want to be healthier in mind, body, soul, and spirit. I want to fit in clothes. I want to get a handle of my fibromyalgia, depression, anxiety, sciatica, arthritis, fatigue, and chronic pain, migraines, TBI symptoms. I want to feel confident and whole and loved.
Thanks for sharing that, Shannon. Do those still ring true? Same questions I asked Jessica today as they did when you wrote them back in July?
Yep.
Has that been a strong driver for you? And the reason why I ask is, sometimes as I look back and reflect on my why in the book, I can't say I had a really strong why when I started. And it was kind of like the generic, I want to get healthy, but I didn't really recognize what healthy meant for me or why that was so important. So as you have gone through the journey since July, have you added anything to that list since then, or are those the same ones?
Honestly, I've been struggling with sticking to getting into this book because I am working on my bachelor's degree. So doing book work in this book is a little bit of a challenge because I got a lot of book work with my schooling. But I have yo-yoed with different diets throughout the years. And the reason that I decided after 2 years of hearing about this one, the reason I finally decided to try it is because my dad actually does it too. And his husband does too. So he was trying to talk me into it for a while. And then I just kind of was like, okay, I'll try it out because I want it more for the companionship and confidence and fitting into clothes rather than just a diet.
That's huge. I hope you feel like you found that with this versus having it be like another yo-yo type diet.
I'm trying to feel that way, but Zoom and everything has just been challenging with COVID,
Oh, do we ever? Yes, we do. It's part of why we wanted to do this book club, though, is so that you can feel part of the community and that you're not alone and we can all lean on each other. So I appreciate you sharing.
Thank you.
Who else? What is everyone else's takeaways, or who else wants to share their why, or if their why has changed?
I'll go with mine. Some of them, other people said, like to go on a hike, to be able to fly on a plane and fit comfortably. Like our last couple of vacations, I'm like, no, it's better to drive. I don't want to go on a plane. To do a 5K than a 10K, to buy hot looking clothes and have a place to wear them, to have a relationship, looking for a partner, have confidence in who I am and what I'm doing, create and join a thriving group of people, enjoy life, not just live life, and be more present in the moment. And the last one I said to ride a bike and the feel of freedom from when I was a child.
I just got the coolest visual as you said that last one of like this, literally like you just riding a bike, just like free spirited, just like we do when we learn how to ride a bike. That's a really powerful why. That's fun.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that, Lisa. Anyone else? Did anyone struggle finding their why? Or still struggle finding their why?
I did. This is Mary. So I always felt like my why was pretty weak in the beginning. I mean, what I wrote down is I want to like the way I look in the mirror. I want to quit thinking about my weight and how I would, allow my weight to just hold me back from doing what I wanted to do. I want to be healthy long-term. So that was written it's been, I started back in May of 2020, I guess. But that's changed. I had an epiphany about 2 Saturdays ago when I had this really great day. I was over in Tacoma volunteering with this organization and it was just so fun. And then I went to see a granddaughter, and she asked me to go jump on the trampoline with her. She calls me Mimi. And we jumped on that trampoline and I chased her around and she chased me around. And we were probably on that thing for, I don't know, 45 minutes. And it clicked. It's like, this is why I want to do this. It's moments like this. I want to be able to do this more. And it probably kind of goes back to what she just said about riding a bike, those childhood things. It was so freeing. And it just helped me refocus on my why, because I've been struggling.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of folks, both on this call and not on this call, who are in the same boat sometimes, where, that structural tension releases and we feel like we've made it and we've lost weight and we're like, okay, we're not at our goal, but we're way better than we were when we started. And so really having to go back and dig into that why all over again can be hard, because we feel like we've made it to some degree, but then you have these little moments where they're kind of like little health epiphanies where you're like, oh, I'm not there yet. And this is why I want to keep going. So I love that your trampoline moment was one of them. That's fun. What were somebody else's takeaways or their big whys or revelations from this element?
I was just gonna chime in and say something that was something I highlighted that you were talking, Mary, and I was like, this is why we figure out that why. But on page 39, it was saying, your why is your intrinsic motivation and your highest stimulus for change. It drives you into action because it's what you want to do. It inspires you to grow and be better. And then it says down below, it creates a whatever it takes mindset and becomes a powerful ally in your path to success. So I just think that's the very heartbeat of this, finding that why, because it has to be whatever it takes.
I want to pop in really quick too on the evolution of our whys. I hit my goal weight and here I am 40 pounds up again because I lost touch with that why, and my why changed and I didn't realize that it had changed. And I have changed in a way that now I'm awakening more and seeing just how much more work I still have to do on me. Like, when I first started, my why was to be able to be with my kiddos and not be a couch mom, be very active and do the things that I love to do, but to be confident in myself. And when I hit that first initial goal weight, all of those happened. And then it was like, oh, I got this, no problems, whatever, this isn't. And then life hit. And then life hit again. And my world tipped upside down. And I can't control what's inside. So now my why is different. My why is working on my emotions and getting back to my goal weight and staying there, staying put, because I know I can. So it evolves, and I guess have the faith that you can do it. Kat said something that I will never ever forget, and that's loving myself enough to do the work. I love myself enough to keep going. So that's my 2 bits.
I love that. Thanks, Misty.
I want to piggyback off of Misty a little bit because I started my program June of 2019. Okay. So my why back then was I want to be healthier and happier, have more energy, to not just want to sleep all the time after I work. I want to get off of and reduce my diabetic meds. I want to better be able to manage my fibromyalgia, my anxiety, and my depression. And I just want to live my life to the fullest. And I got to my goal weight in 3.5 months, and I held it until the last probably 3 to 4 months, where I've gained a little bit. And it's emotional. I've let the emotions of what's been going on in life put me back into some of those bad eating habits. So last week I decided that I needed a new why. I'm still working on it, but I know it has to do with me controlling my emotions a little bit, because I know that what's inside of me is what the issue is it's like I let life gets so overwhelming, and I let my job get so overwhelming that, it's really easy to just go down in that pantry and grab the stuff that's not good for me, even though there's stuff sitting right there that is good for me, or making up those vegetables and stuff. So it's just, I've let those bad habits start to sneak back in. So I'm working on a new why. That's all I have to say.
If anything, it just solidifies that this is a journey and no one's perfect. In fact, Dr. A even talks about, I can't remember if it's in the Life book or the Habits of Health book, but he says that like there is no destination for health, right? Like we think, oh, we made it to our goal weight and suddenly this is done. This is called a life book for a reason. And I truly think he was brilliant with how he named it, because life is going to happen with us all the time, whether it's job related, family related. I mean, whatever the circumstances, we're going to learn new triggers about ourselves all the time. And so, yeah, sometimes revisiting your why isn't a bad thing at all. It's actually really powerful. What were some other takeaways?
I can go ahead and go if it's okay.
Please.
Okay, this is Bree. I actually, when I first started, I kind of, to like someone said earlier, I was kind of, oh, I just want to get healthy. And I was honestly at like my wit's end. And I was just like, I've got to do something because this is not working for me. Ideally, it was about the weight. But I feel like along the journey, I mean, I'm still not to my goal weight yet, but I'm on my way. And I feel like in the process, there have been people that have stopped me, that'll talk to me. And it's not even about my weight. It's about just my boss came up to me, I'm a teacher, and he was like, he goes, you just seem different. He goes, you're doing amazing. He's like, but what's different? And I said, I think I'm finally finding the person that I am. Like, I don't feel like I'm hiding under this like mask or this like shell that I was in. And I feel like myself again. And because I'm able to be myself now, I feel like I'm able to be more of a light than just be that person that drags down when everything gets tough. Because we all know like life in general since COVID hit has just been awful. I started this program back in April. And so around that time, I was really struggling with some things internally. And since then, I've been able to, I've lost weight, which is great, but I've also felt like I've come into myself again. Like I finally I'm able to build more relationships with people and not shut people out as much. I'm a better mom than I had been. There's so many benefits that are outside of just like the weight loss, which was honestly was my why when I started. I was just like, give me this box of stuff. I don't know if it's magic, but I need it to work. And it's done so much more than just help me lose weight. So I'm very thankful. So that's my why.
I love that. Thanks, Brian. I love that you said you're a better mom. It's actually one of like a pivotal moment for Andrew and I when we did this program, and we were on a cruise, and one of the coaches asked our kids, makes me emotional thinking about it again, like what this program has done for her parents and her family. And Naomi says, my parents are happier now. And it was like one of those gut wrenching moments where you're like, oh, were we that unhappy? Like, was it that noticeable to our kids that we weren't healthy? And it like rippled into other areas of our life. So that's when we knew like there is something magical about this program. I call it magic for that very reason. So I love that you recognize that too. What else? What were some of your other takeaways?
I guess I'll go ahead and go. For me, my why has always been my family, like more so my my wife and my niece and nephews, because they've always needed someone to be there. And I got some really tough doctor results whenever right before my coach James introduced me to the program, and it's like if you don't get your health in check, you're at risk of stroke. And now that I've gotten to where, I'm at my goal weight, one of my youngest nephews, he's been asking me, pretty regular, hey, let's go to the gym. And, he's overweight himself, and he's actually, not to shame him or anything, but he's at the point where he's wearing the same size pants that I was wearing. And, I need to quit procrastinating. I'm actually going this week to sign up for, to go to the gym to encourage him, because he's encouraging me. Thank you.
I love that ripple effect that happens. It's like you don't know who you're going to inspire until they see the change in you. And I love that you've been that inspiration for him. Thanks, Josh. Anyone else? I was looking at page 42, and I don't know if any of you actually checked those boxes, but I'm curious, of those boxes that you all checked on page 42, did you check all of them, or were there specific ones that you checked that applied to you? I checked almost all of them, if I'm being really honest.
I checked all of them.
Did you check all of them too? Okay. Did anyone only check like specific ones, or is everyone kind of in the same boat with checking each of them? Bree says she checked them all too. Yeah.
I only checked 3 of them.
Which ones were they? I'm curious.
The second one, the 4th one, and the 6th one.
I checked only 5. So I checked the quick fixes, my health, more than weight loss, in charge, and mind in charge are the ones that I checked.
Good ones. Are they the same now? Or especially for you, Cher, that since you've done this for a little while, if you go back and read this now, would you have checked them all going back, or are those still your top ones?
I think those are still my top ones, but if I would be honest with myself, I probably would have checked them all. I think I was just like, oh, I don't want to check all of them. I'm not that bad off, which I'm not saying that I was that bad off, but reading through them now, it's like I'm sitting here going, why didn't I check that one back then? Why didn't I check that one? Because I'm looking at results and best version of myself. I didn't feel I was the best version of myself back then. I want more. So I was just reading these right now and I'm like, why didn't I check them all? I think I was just being selective. Let's be honest. But now I see where they all fit into where I was 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. We kind of tell ourselves sorry sometimes.
I checked them all too. And I think it was just because, oh, that's the thing to do. I should want to improve myself all around. But when I read my why, or whatever, it was kind of generic anyway. But my why keeps updating. And who was it? One of you guys talked about magic a minute ago. And looking over the checks now, it's like, yeah, this is all possible through this program. And it wasn't even part of my why when I started, because I couldn't fathom that this program could actually change. It was just like, oh, okay, yeah, we're all around campfire, we're going to sing Kumbaya, so let me check everything. But now, having worked through the Lifebook and having had a huge transformation myself and having led some other people to transformations, and even hearing some of these ripple stories on here from people that have been affected by other folks that I've helped to guide on this, it just really opened my eyes. Like, there is so much more. So I guess all I'm getting at is always go back and review your why, because you don't even know the potential of what you're into yet. Yeah, healthy weight. Like I came in thinking I just need to get a healthy weight so that I can get off this blood pressure medication, lower my cholesterol, like Josh said, not be at risk for a heart attack in my case. And now it's more like my why is to become intentional in everything that I do. My why is to figure out what my maximum potential is. And I never imagined that my diet would do that for me. So obviously it's not a diet, but I guess I'm just really happy to see so many people on here exploring the Lifebook, and all of you guys, just to be a mic hog for a second, all of you are beautiful on the outside and on the inside. Everyone that was sharing, whether we had videos on or not, you're all just beautiful people. Thank you for sharing what you shared with us tonight.
Absolutely. And I'm going to have you guys share before we do the raffle, because I think this question that he asks on page 43 is incredibly powerful at the bottom. And he says, describe in as much detail something you would love to do in the future that gets you really excited, but which it's something that you can't do right now. So for those of you who are willing, I'd love to hear what's one thing that you want to do that you can't do yet, or one thing that you've accomplished that you weren't able to do when you started program. And I'll kick us off. For me, it was running a half marathon. For like, I couldn't even fathom doing that before program. Like, I liked running. I didn't love running. It was part of my weight loss, I guess, journey years prior, where I'd go through this cycle of running off my calories because I was trying to outrun the fork. But last year, Naomi and I ran our first half marathon, and that was a huge accomplishment because I would have not done that prior to program. That wouldn't have been fun for me at all. And now I'm doing these things that I love doing, and the kids keep me active. And it's like, well, why not try it and see what happens? I didn't die. What else can I do? Next on my list is conquering my fear of water and learning how to swim, since I don't know how to swim. So who else wants to share what's one thing that maybe you can't do now that you can't wait to do once you get to your goal, or one thing that you have done now that you've gotten to your goal?
I am no longer sitting on the sidelines. I am participating with my kids. I'm going hiking. I'm going on walks. I'm playing in the yard. I'm running in the parks. I'm no longer sitting on the sidelines going, yeah, you guys are doing great. So to actually partake in their life is amazing. And I can't wait to further that even more with doing more activity, more intense hiking, going swimming with them. Like you, Cindy, I actually don't know how to swim, so I'd like to learn.
Swim lessons together.
So I, definitely would like to be more active than what I already am. But that's huge for me because I always sat on the sidelines. I never partook in anything that they did. In fact, they would get mad and upset because I'd be like, I'm sorry, guys, mom's just too tired. We're not going to go do something. So we spent a lot of time at home not doing anything. And now I'm going, what are we doing today? You want to clean out the car? Sure, let's go do that. Or let's go to the park. Let's go run around the park. Let's go look at model homes. Whatever we want to do, I'm like, let's go do something instead of sitting on my butt doing nothing. So that's huge.
Love that. Being present. That's awesome. Anyone else?
I ride about 100 miles.
I can go, but mine.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, okay, sorry. No, mine isn't necessarily like, mine's like kind of a lot different than what people have shared already. But one of my things that I was really struggling with is like simply as looking in a mirror. And I really had a hard time with it because I had gained so much weight. And like I said earlier, I felt like not like myself. And I had a really hard time like getting dressed in the morning and put my makeup on and fix my hair because I didn't want to look at myself because I was just disgusted with what I saw. And it didn't take long. I mean, even though I hadn't like that was back in April. And so now it's like, I feel like it only took about a month. I feel like kind of getting into the program, getting into the Lifebook, getting, coaching with, or having Erica coach me and stuff. I felt like at that point I was like, okay, I love myself again. I see who I am. And I feel much more like someone said earlier, like I'm not on the sidelines, like I'm doing things, I'm active. I'm not just falling into depression. So it's helped me a lot.
You are not alone there, Bree. I even see Ashley popped in the comments. She felt the same way.
I know we're wrapping up. I was just saying I ride bikes maybe 100 miles a week now. And when I started this program, I would have laughed at you to ask me to ride my bike to the end of my driveway. So I'm proud to be doing that. I don't know what's next. Maybe rock climbing.
Ooh, that's fun. Awesome, you guys. Well, I'm so glad you all shared and that you were really vulnerable and transparent with us. That really does mean a lot. And if anything, it helps all of us to kind of hear what all of your whys are. It helps with our own journeys. That's why we're in this together. So before we wrap up, I know Erica has the wheel ready to see who our wellness credit raffle winners are tonight.
All right. Can you guys see this?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, here we go. We'll shuffle them up.
Ooh, and while that's spinning, Felicia put in the comment that she's driving. Hopefully she wasn't driving and texting this at the same time, but she says she can lift way more than ever before. And that's lean. The lean muscle is real. That's huge. That's awesome, Felicia. Marla, you're the big winner tonight. $25 in wellness credits going to your account. Thank you for joining us tonight. Who's the second winner tonight?
Here we go.
Yay, Mel. Mel, what's your last name so we can make sure we apply the credits to the right Mel?
Merrill, Merrill.
Yay, congrats, Mel. Awesome, you guys. Well, I'm so happy you jumped on. Hopefully you all have a fantastic rest of your Monday evening. Next Monday, we're back in the Habits of Health book. I don't have mine near me. It's in Andrew's office. So I think we're in 1.1 if I'm correct, right? Okay, Ashley's giving me the nod, so we're good. 1.1 next week of the Habits of Health. Otherwise, have a fantastic rest of your week, you guys, and we'll chat later. Bye, everyone.